Hi, my name is Elizabeth Barefoot, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about discrimination and sexual workplace harassment and how we can solve that. A little background overview of our problem. A lot of people get harassed and sexually abused every day. Majority of the time this happens while you're at work, just due to you spend most of your time at work. 1 out of 3 people experience physical abuse, sexual misconduct, or rape while at work every day. 1 out of 7 people have been targeted with legal action or job loss or physical injury due to discrimination every day at work. Employees get discriminated on by other employees or even their employer. A lot of the time, employers discriminate or sexually abuse their employees just due to them being of a higher power, and they know or they think that their employee, if they say something to them or do something to their employee, they're not going to say anything to anybody about it just because they're of higher power, and the employee could just be lying, which is awful to say, but a lot of the times in cases like this that happens a lot. The United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commissions received 24,582 cases of age bias in 2008. An Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967 was created by federal government to shield jobs aged 40 and up. A lot of the time, businesses do not want to hire anybody that is 40 and up due to them being almost ready to retire or them not being physically able to do the job. A lot of people can be discriminated by their race, their age, their gender, and their sex, and how they style themselves, such as their hair, their clothes, and their makeup. A lot of women, if they go out to get a job, if they don't look presentable enough or meet the standards for that company, they don't get the job, which is terrible. Because a lot of women, people like to express ourselves. So if we want to have green hair, we want to have green hair. If we want to have purple, different colored hair, we want to do that. That's how we express ourselves. And if we don't want to wear makeup, we don't want to wear makeup. That's just how we express ourselves, and companies shouldn't, and people shouldn't discriminate on that. Solutions that have been tried to reduce discrimination and sexual harassment in the workplace would be a lot of companies have tried changing their CEO. They've tried a training course, starting a movement or being involved in a movement, or clear discrimination and sexual harassment policy. Now, changing the CEO, I don't really think that that's reduced discrimination and sexual harassment, just due to, if you change your CEO, the next person could be the same as the last CEO, or, the CEO doesn't really take responsibility on how the employees speak to others or treat other people. In the training course, a lot of companies do this training course, but they only do it one time, and it's like you do it before you get hired, and then while you're working there for umpteen years, you don't have to do it again, or it's never talked about again. It's just kind of like thrown behind you. And starting a movement or being involved, such as like the Me Too movement or the Black Lives Matters movement. This is big, especially within the past few years. These two movements have really stepped up, and I think shown a lot of people what the world has come to and how we need to fix that. And especially if a lot of businesses are involved with those movements, it can show that they actually care and that they are here to change the world and how people think. Does it really solve discrimination and sexual workplace harassment? It helps, but I don't think it solves it completely. It does show your employees that you obviously want to change and you are not for discrimination and sexual harassment, but I don't really think it reduces anything in the workplace. Clear discrimination and sexual harassment policy, such as like defining the sexual harassment and discrimination, no uncertain terms that you will not tolerate sexual harassment, stating that you will discipline or fire any wrongdoers, and a full investigation if something were to happen. This is a really good way to reduce discrimination and sexual workplace harassment. Obviously, has it stopped it? No, because your employees still tend to do whatever they want to, and it just seems like they have no respect for your company or for themselves. A lot of companies have this policy in place, and if something comes about where an employee says, well, I was sexually abused or I was discriminated on, sometimes it's not taken as serious as it should be. So these policies, if the company sticks to it, is really well, but if not, it's kind of falling through. My proposition to help reduce sexual harassment and discrimination in the workplace, businesses need every employee to take a discrimination and sexual harassment course before being hired. These accusations need to be taken serious by employees and by the employer. Monthly meetings to go over discrimination and sexual harassment workplace rules and their consequences, because the consequences are serious. The steps to being hired and how the training course kind of comes to play in this. So the steps: first, you're going to fill out the application. Then you're going to take a step-by-step training course. Once you have completed the training course, you will then have to take a test. You will have to understand everything and all the rules and regulations and consequences at our business, and you will have to ace the test, like get a 100. There's no anything other than that will not work. You would then have to be interviewed. If everything goes good and you're fully aware of all the consequences and all the rules and regulations at our place, you will then be hired. If for some reason you have done all these steps, you're hired, and you still discriminate or sexually harass people in the workplace, the consequences will be you will go under investigation and you will be asked to leave until further notice. If you are found guilty, you will have to take the course again and you will be suspended without pay for a couple of weeks. The second time you are accused, you will be terminated from the business immediately. There are no playing games here. Feasibility. The course will be taken online. The business will have to pay roughly $3,000 to get the course up and running. They won't have to pay anybody to do the course, just again because it's taken online, and you just really have to pay to get it up and running. And call to action: we can make a difference together and make the world a better place.